What is up, everybody? It is Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning The Dr. Vibe Show. As always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Also know that I am a certified empowerment coach and president and CEO of Express Your Vibe Coaching and Communications. As always, we love to have new friends on the conversation, and we have another new friend on tonight. He knows himself. He calls himself Big Marv, aka Marv Brown. He's an A&R executive with Sony Music for Polo Grounds Music. He's a 25-year veteran of music and entertainment, of the music and entertainment industry in North America, and a real estate investor. His influential touch and experience in music production has sold millions of records globally and impacted the careers of Hurricane Chris, Hey Bay, Hey Bay, ASP Mob, Rocky and Ferg, and Mr. Worldwide Pitbull. Earlier this year, he was selected by Cantor Fitzgerald Chairman and CEO Howard Lutnick to coordinate Cantor Fitzgerald's premier celebrity charity concert at Radio Music Hall in NYC to benefit 9/11 families and victims of natural disasters of the world on September 10th, 2017. It coincides with Cantor Fitzgerald's annual charity day on the New York Stock Exchange trading floor, which gives 100% of its global revenues to the Cantor Fitzgerald Relief Fund. Since 1990, Mr. Brown created a foundation for urban acts in Canada under his Top Cat Entertainment lifestyle brand. In addition, he promoted American culture to offering R&B performers a stage in Toronto and financing major Canadian concert tours to audiences of 20,000 plus. His entrepreneurial endeavors include theater. Also, recently he's become a partner in Property Finance Corporation, a successful mortgage investment company that assists in property purchases and advises on real estate ventures with assets in the millions. So let's welcome to the Dr. Vibe Show conversation, Marv Brown. How are you this evening, Mr. Brown?
Absolutely fantastic, my friend. And it's wonderful to be here with you, Dr. Vibe.
Thank
You know
you
what I mean?
so much. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for taking the time in your positive, productive schedule. Looking forward to having a wonderful conversation with you. And first off, like we do with all our new friends that come on the platform, can you share a little bit about your background, where you grew up, life growing up, etc.?
Yeah, I grew up in a place called Brampton in Canada, Toronto.
Yep.
That's what I call home, Brampton. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
And what was life growing up in Brampton? I'm in Scarborough, so I call
In
Brampton.
Scarborough.
I call Brampton the Northwest Territory.
North.
So you know.
Well, I mean, Brampton, if I could rewind it, I'd do it again. So it was beautiful growing up in Brampton. It was a lot of good people. It was a good childhood there. And I learned a lot from Brampton too growing up. You know, I mean, keeping parties and stuff from when I was young out there, you know, taking it to the next level till today. You know what I mean? So it all started from Brampton.
Excellent. So you said you were keeping parties at a young age. Where did you get that influence or that thought process, pardon me, to launch parties at a young age?
I mean, I guess my little clique that I used to hang with, I used to have about a little five group of guys that we used to hang with, dancing, break dancing and stuff. And then I just enjoyed music. I always thought music is like a universal language, that music just, if you're in a bad mood or whatever, music always picked it up. If you had a problem, you listen to some music, you get over it real fast. You know, music was always that passion for me, you know. So I started, and I love to entertain.
Right.
So back then, I was keeping little parties, and you know, people from school would come to the parties, and you know, I would always be the entertainer of the party by bringing my friends them to come entertain, sing or dance, perform, whatever, or break dance competition. And I was just seen it as from day one as a little business, you know. I mean, back then we used to charge maybe like $1.25 to $2 to get in,
Right.
and I put flyers out to say it's $2 without a flyer, $1.25 with a flyer, and
Right.
you know, people still come. And then I would used to come to Scarborough, one of my first shows, and book a group from out there and bring them to Brampton to perform, and everybody was loving it. So it started all from there, you know.
Nice. Now, I can see that at a very young age, entrepreneurism was in your thought process. Was that something that you derived on your own, or was there an environment of entrepreneurism around you?
Well, me, I guess I always had that boss mentality inside of me. And I always felt like it was hard for me just to get up and go, mind somebody else's business. I always said I want to get up and mind my own business. You know what I mean? So people would think it's mind your business. No, I mean, I do like to take care of my own business instead of getting up and plugging away to taking care of somebody else's business every day. So I always knew that I had to create something that, I could work on my time.
Good, good, good. So
Hmm.
so you were holding these parties. What was the next step on your entertainment journey? Because obviously you got too big for Brampton. So what was the next step from there?
Well, in Brampton, when I started keeping the parties and stuff, I started selling out all the time. Like everybody knew me, and I became popular. I think one of the most popular guy coming out of Brampton, and anything I was keeping, everybody would support. Um, and then I went on to say, okay, just for finance wise, I went and opened up like a tire store. I opened up the tire store and started, building the tire store. But the difference between a tire store, I built a studio upstairs and start recording artists and stuff like that. Um, and then finally one day I sold the tire store. And when I sold this tire store, I went downtown and partnered up with John Sally. John Sally played on the Toronto Raptors at that time, um, and started running a club with him called Atlantis. And in the meantime, working Atlantis, since you're making that money every week, I started investing into artists because I was keeping a lot of shows and bringing a lot of celebrities to Atlantis, and I liked the other end when I seen, I was doing all the work keeping the show, and they would come in and do a show for like maybe 45 minutes to an hour, but I knew I was preparing this for 2 months, right? So I said I had to get on the other side, and I met a guy from BBD back then, and he was out in LA. So I flew out there and brought a young female artist from here and brought her out and started recording. And that just was able me to meet other people. And once I started meeting everybody in the business, I started just still those songs, produce those songs till I met the main artists.
Okay, no problem. So do you remember that first trip out to LA?
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about that?
Yes, that first trip was up to LA was amazing because I was working at John Tobin Studio, that was the name. And, there's a lot of celebrities there then too. And I met a guy by the name of Def Jeff, which me and him today is like tight, real good friends. And I went out there with BBD's drummer. That's who I went to go meet. And then we were just recording, and he kept telling me about this group, Ramses, out of Ohio. So I said, okay, I'd like to definitely take a look at them. And the next trip we went out there, we went to Ohio now, and they came and auditioned for me, and it blew me away. I never heard nothing like that, like live before. You know what I mean? That's the group I signed, and that's the group that gave me my first record deal with TVT Sony. And that from I signed that deal, that just enables you to travel and meet the who's who in the industry to take it to the next level.
Where did you get the knowledge to sign and act at such a young age?
Uh, real talk. I think I was watching Puff Daddy back then. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Like coming from
understood.
Canada,
Yep.
it's like, I tell Puff I'm a fan of Puff before, that I used to like to see how his worth ethics and how he was on the grind all the time, working, making magic happen, putting all those records, right? But I knew it's something that I could do too. So I felt the passion of getting the artists, and then it got closer to me since I started doing all the concerts because I started bringing all the entertainers to Atlantis, and I got to meet all the managers and the entertainers and realized it's something that I could do too, and I do love it.
Excellent.
So it just came natural to me. It wasn't even something I had to really think about. It's just like, when you want to do something, you just get on it and you just work towards it. And, you fail here, you keep going and you just figure it out as, hands-on approach.
You mentioned something about fail here and keep on going, especially in the early days. What kept you going?
I think it was good because since I was having the club with so much success and working on the artists, and I was able to since I was the promoter, I was able to put my artists on the show all the time and give them exposure. And the public kept telling me whatever I'm doing is really hot and good, and I could see that I was developing fans myself. So it just became even more a passion for me to keep going.
When, especially in the early days, did you realize that things were going to another level? Was there an artist or an act that you said, I'd like to get, and you finally got them?
I think not on the promotion part. I think when I knew that things were going to go was just when me start packing Atlantis and making the phone calls to like the US, and they're saying they heard about me, they heard about what I'm doing, and that willing to have that conversation with me about working with my project and stuff. I think that's when I knew, okay, I'm in the right circle. Definitely this can go to the next level.
Okay. And, well, Marv isn't in Toronto much anymore, but there was a time he was, and he talks about Atlantis. Could you just give people a little background on Atlantis? Because I have a worldwide audience, they may not know it. What's this Atlantis? Atlantis. Is it in Greece? Is it in Toronto,
Yeah. Atlantis is one of the #1 upscale club in Toronto. I think it was a place that for urban music wasn't really downtown at the time. Everybody was partying on the outskirts. So we kind of took it downtown, and it was the first place really bringing 2,000 people out every second week to come party with us, and a lot of celebrities coming out, all the ball players from the Toronto Raptors, because about the time when Toronto Raptors was first coming to Toronto, and John Sally was on it, so he was my partner on it. And I think that created a nice hype for Toronto to come out and party with all the NBA stars and the movie actors and stuff. And it was a great time. A lot of people met their second half there. It was always packed every week. After a while, we had to, don't sell tickets at door. We used to sell in advance. So we'd be sell out 2 weeks in advance before the party. You know what I mean? Then, capacity was 2,000 people. So we're out at capacity, maybe 2,000 people inside, and there was another 2,000 people outside that can't get in.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me ask, back in those days, Atlantis was the place to be, but do you feel that there was anything else business-wise that was keeping you a cut above the rest?
So, repeat that one. Say that one again.
No, well, back in those days, especially with Atlantis was one of the places to be in Toronto. Outside of the place itself, was there anything else that you were doing that was keeping you maybe a cut above the rest when it came to promoters back in those times?
I guess the difference between us, from that early age is that we couldn't finance our own thing because we had such a success with Atlantis. We had extra capital. So at that time, I was buying maybe properties. So when I buy properties, I wouldn't really spend the money on buying the finer things. I'd really buy the properties, and then what the properties made interest off it, or the overflow, that's what I'd use to continue compete against everybody else. And I think the rest of the public, they had to, put maybe 10 guys together to compete against just me and one partner at the time. And we were just one step above the rest all the time.
Okay.
We had the most buzz on us, the hype was on us. Anybody that came in from the States, this is where they had to be, where we were. You know what I mean?
Where did you get the vision back then that it sounded like you wanted to be more than just a promoter? You said you were buying properties. Was that something that was coached you, or just that something that you said, Marv, I want to get into real estate?
I think that became because I used to hang with these. I grew up in Brampton too, and where I was from, there's a lot of Portuguese and Italian. So I had 2 Italian friends I grew up with too, and their parents were into properties and everything. So I was always wowed at the factor that they're handling business, and they looked like they were always one step above the rest. So in my mind, I thought that that's one thing maybe I would do later on in like say the music business. If you take your money and throw it into the music business, it can go to zero if it doesn't pan out. But I figured out at an early age, one thing about properties, if you put your money into properties, it could never go to zero, right? Even no matter how bad the market is, there's still money to hold back out of it no matter what goes on. So that was just like always a safe investment to me.
Strong thought process at a young age. That's good stuff. That is really good stuff.
Right.
You are now based, if I'm correct, in the States.
Well, I wouldn't really say in the. I still here. I live both places. I
Okay.
call it like that. Canada's home. I do have a place in New York too now. What I mean, just for taking care of business, you got to be international, keep moving around.
Right.
Yeah.
So when did you decide that you had to have a place in the States, and what brought that on that you needed to have an office in the States?
I think I was spending so much times there, and then hotels and stuff like that became too expensive and stuff. So I thought it was a better move if you have a spot instead. Cost wise, be better move, right? And I started spending more time there,
Nice.
than average.
Nice. Nice. So,
Yeah.
doing business in the States versus doing business in Canada, what are the differences in the when it comes to the entertainment industry?
Um, I think it's about the connections because the entertainment business is all about connections. You know what I mean? So I tell everybody preparation meets opportunity. You know what I mean? So but first you have to recognize the opportunity, right? So the people and stuff. I guess it's a wider market over there, and it's the more in when it comes to music, and the budget's different from Canada. Canada's budget was not as big as American. You know what I mean? So, I always like to do it big. So I went over with the big boys and dig down over there, where you can really get the money.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
T
Yeah.
Tell us how Top Cat Entertainment started.
Top Cat. Well, Top Cat right now. My partner before, which was Roy, he had cat eye, so I decided to just you're like a cat. So I said, hey, we're the two top cats in the game, you know. So we started like just say, we're gonna call it Top Cat Entertainment. We were trying to come up with names, and Top Cat Entertainment came. And then when I told a couple of people about Top Cat Entertainment, when they see me, they started saying, "Yo, Top Cat, you guys Top Cat." So we just ran with that and started branding Top Cat, everything we do, right? And started putting on backer records. Just even when we got our first deal,
Hmm.
Teddy Riley is the one that came aboard. He loved the name too, and he started saying Top Cat. I like that. I'm gonna get myself a Toronto office with Top Cat. The president for Polo Grounds, Brian, he was telling me Top Cat. I'm gonna make you know come out there and help out Top Cat in Toronto. Like everybody started. So it means the name was gelling with everybody
Right.
to me.
Hey, you mentioned the iconic Teddy Riley. What was the journey to get with Teddy Riley? Was that someone you wanted to approach, or did he approach you?
Well, no, Teddy Riley was somebody I admired from when I was smaller, like, from the days listening to R&B. I think Teddy was one of the first ones talking on records and stuff like that, almost meaning like what Puff does and stuff. And um, when I finally got my deal, um, my major deal in the States, I always wanted to work with Teddy Riley. So we just mentioned that. How about Teddy? And I was talking to Teddy before, explaining it to him, like, I love the business and stuff. He says, you're definitely going to do good in this business. So I always remembered him. I always had his number. So I called him up once I had my record deal and let him know I got a budget. I got the artist. He told me send the artist. He listened to me, loved them. And we ended up going out there and working with Teddy Riley. Came up with a couple tricking song, Made Me Say It Again. And we just spent about a couple weeks with Teddy Riley in the studio banging out some tracks and, working with him. And that was where it all started too. I'm saying, like, I'm here working with legends.
Nice. You mentioned in your conversation there about your first record deal. Tell us the work it took for you to get that deal. Because because you know what, a lot of people will watch this and say, "Oh, Marv's got this, Marv's got that," but I want you, as comfortable as you are right now, to share
Hmm.
what was the work it took to get that deal, because not that many people, especially from Canada, get
Yeah.
that kind of record deal.
Well, I'll tell you that one. That was a long road because honestly, working with Ramses, it took like 7 years before I got the deal. You know what I mean? So I mean, when you
Wow.
get the deal, people see it as you just come out of nowhere, like it just happened. But I've been plugging away with that group for 7 years before we signed a major deal. And with the group, you're gonna have ups and downs, arguments, going, try. Everybody has their own way of want to do things, and you know, But it was a long, rocky road, but finally it came, Um, you had a lot of hiccups along the way. Like when I first, like we shot a video, which Little X shot for us, which is from Toronto too. And the reason he got to shot that video, I just came back from LA working with the group Shy to shoot a video, and I didn't like how the video panned out. So I came back to Toronto. I felt like, yo, I just went to LA. I had no control over that situation. So I decided that I need somebody that I could work with to get what I need to get. So um, this guy named Shadow brought Little X to me, and at that time, Little X never really had a video to show me because he was working for Hype Williams as a storyboard guy. So when he came, he said he's gonna put something together for me, and he put something with a camcorder together back in the days, and I looked at that and I thought, this is clever. Let's work with him. So we came back from LA and we said we're gonna shoot this video. He put the script together and we shot the video. And then I took that video because I liked it so much with Ramses, and that's the one I went to New York and start pushing it everywhere on everybody. And I landed it on BET and MTV playing. And then after I landed on MTV and BET, that's when all the labels started coming at me to sign the group. You know what I mean?
So obviously, it sounds like a number of labels are approaching you. Was it a hard negotiation process to choose the one that you ended up with?
Well, at that point, I really wanted to maybe like go to a. I was trying to negotiate the deal, but I didn't get to negotiate the deal because at that time the artists, just learned the game too. So they jumped up and to interfere with negotiating the deal and just wanted to get the first deal that came, right? So we didn't get to really negotiate with the rest. So the first deal, they wanted to take it, they took it, which I didn't agree with at first, but hey, I just decided let's roll and just make it happen.
Okay. You, and I say this respectfully,
Mm-hmm.
are a veteran of the music industry. How has it changed, either good or bad, over your journey?
Um, well, my journey really, I think signing that major deal, Brian Leach was the president of the label at the time, A&R. No, yes, he was A&R, not president at the time. And me and him became good friends because we went on tour together, traveling with the group and everything. I got to know him, he got to know me. So that was a good thing. I stuck by him, and he kind of went on to do bigger and better things. Became president of Polo Grounds with Sony, and he brought Pitbull over. Uh, Brian had like Little John. He had a lot of artists, so I stayed with him. And as in this business, it's all about who you know. You know what I mean? So knowing them, and he introduced me to a lot of other people, and it was, he just helped me to take it to the next level. Um, so that journey, I guess, going on tour and everything, you get to meet everybody, right? And that helps it along the way, because if you were stuck just in one place, say like in Toronto and everything, you might not meet the right people to take you to the next level. So you had to move around, and it's expensive if you want to try to do it on your own. So having a deal, it helps you to move around to the next level.
Okay. With that answer there, it makes me think of three areas I'd like you to share about during your journey: mentorship, relationship, and coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned a gentleman. Who are some of the mentors that you've had along the way or still have, and what have they meant to you?
I think my mentor really, for when it comes to the entertainment music, I would say Brian Leach, because he's a tough one. He's a tough teacher, but I like the going along the road with him. He brought me in. I don't think he's the type of guy that brings a lot of people in so easy, but I think it's all about trust and if you're a likable guy or not. And he brought me in and showed you the ropes, the ins and outs of the music business, and I feel like it's like learning from the best. You know what I mean?
Okay. And
he's one of the top ones in the game to me.
Excellent. And the importance of mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
The importance of mentorship, like you mean if you definitely have to have somebody in the game that you kind of look up to, that if you can get close to work with, to shows you the do's and don'ts of this business, you know?
Are you fortunate enough at this time to be mentoring future Big Marvs?
Oh yeah, yeah. I got a lot of guys right now. Um, I got a lot of people right now that call me day to day, ask a couple questions, and I help them out because I used to know that I used to be at that spot at one time too. And sometimes the music business it is definitely a lot of egos, and people get to the next level, and it's not that they're not busy; they're very busy, so they don't have time for the attention span's not as there as much. So I try to slow down a little bit, and if they have a question, to answer it and try to help them best as I can to help them get where they got to go.
So for those young people that you're helping out now,
Hmm.
compared to when you were their age, how are things different for someone trying to get into the industry these days?
Well, before, I think now it's that much easier because you have the internet. The internet makes everything one big bubble. Before, coming from Toronto and say New York, you're always maybe 6 months behind because the music that were coming out there, our radio would be playing 6 months behind. So it was like, but now with the internet, everything's on an even playing field. You know, you get everything released at the same time now.
Right,
You
right.
know what I mean? So it makes it that much. Your ear is tuned up
Okay.
to what's going on instead of before. You're behind what's playing 6 or to a year later, and you're producing that type of material when New York's already went on with the new sound. You
Right.
know what I mean? So now it's much easier that Toronto definitely can keep up now and is really in the game now.
Does it still take, though, a lot of hard work?
Definitely,
I want
it's
to
a
make sure you put that across everyone who's watching here.
it's a grind. It's a grind every day. You know what I mean? Definitely, you got to be on the grind. Yeah, you got to love it. You know what I mean? If you don't love it, I would say don't even bother. Because, like for me, I think my biggest success, it doesn't feel like work to me because it's not even about the money. You know what I mean? To me, I do it and I enjoy it. You know what I mean? So I think if it was more the money, I'd be chasing the money, and then if you don't get it there, whatever, you give up. But this is a passion. That's why I've been in it for decades now, still going strong. I see people now, they say, "You still in the music business?" So I laugh. I say, "Do you mean if I'm still working?" Like, you know, they take it as a game, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I'm still working. This is what I do every day. And people got to know, you don't got to be like in the music business, you don't got to be upfront all the time. You could be behind the scene too. And there's a lot of other ways to make money in the business. Like there's publishing, there's producing, there's managements, there's A&R, there's promotions. There's so much other things like publicists. People could just be a PR. There's so much things in the business that you can be and make money at it in the meantime, right?
Do
But
go ahead.
but I think the main thing, you got to have a passion for what you want to do. So to be successful at it, you got to have that passion. You got to love it, not just like it. You got to love it, and that's when you'll be successful.
Excellent. Do you feel it's easier for black men and women to make a success in the music industry now compared to when you got in?
Um, no,
Okay.
I don't think color has a factor or nothing to do with it. You know,
Okay. No, it's fair.
I think to me right now, from now, a hit record's a hit record.
Right.
I mean, for the music business, if it's hot, it's hot. You know what I mean? There's work records that's okay, you got to work it, and there's no brainer records that means when you put it out, it has legs on its own. It's gonna run. It's gonna take it to the next level on its own. But there's all records that it's still hot, but you're gonna have to push it and put a lot of work behind it to make it happen.
Nice. And I always like to discuss with entrepreneurs the importance of relationships.
That's the key thing. Relationship is the key thing. You come in the business right now, you don't got to be shady. You got to be a man of your word. If you say it's A and B, make it A and B. You know what I mean? That if you say something, you want to make sure you do it right now because you're judged after your last thing you did, right? And you want to make sure when they leave, the other person that you did business with talks good about you. So, other opportunities come to you because it seems like it's a big world out there, but it's a bubble. It's a small circle. It's so quick. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows everybody.
Right. And especially with the digital world, it's a smaller world than ever.
Correct.
I want to transition on to the Property Finance Corporation. Well, how did that start off, and how did you get that started?
Well, you know what? Since I was buying properties at a young age, people started coming to me for advice about that, and I got a couple of mortgage brokers that I was working with, and since I knew a lot of people, I was giving them a lot of business of say, here you go, do this mortgage for this person because they want to do it because they see what I was doing, right? And I was getting so much clientele. Even though I was in entertainment business, people look at success as the same thing, whatever it is success. So they thought, let's go for advice. And most of the advice was about properties. They want to get to the next level. They want to buy a home. They want to do this. So I decided to go get my license for the finance business. You know what I mean? And then now then after that, I partnered up with a finance company and built our own company and started giving out mortgages too, second mortgages, first mortgages, and start helping everybody with their finance and showing them the road to go.
That's nice, because real estate is always a good thing.
I mean, it boils down to the same entertainment business, right? Because it's like you are helping somebody to get their dream. So it's like when you manage an artist, it's like you're helping them to take their career to the next level, right? To get their success. So it's the same thing with somebody else. It might not be music, but it might be finance. They want to own a property and stuff like that. So it's just helping people in general to get to their dreams.
I was going to ask you about the parallels between the real estate industry and the music industry, and you put it very nicely. Nice, well done, very well done.
Thank you. Yeah.
When it comes to entertainment, what have been some of the highlights? Actually, you know what? In both areas, the real estate and the entertainment industry, can you share some of the highlights that you've had in your journey?
The highlights, I think, with entertainment business, I love it in a way because it makes you meet everybody. It makes you meet the who and who in this world. Like now I talk to the biggest of the biggest in this world. So nothing fazes me now. I have friends that are literally trillionaires. I have friends that are billionaires. And also I have friends that are millionaires.
What do you learn from them?
What do I learn?
If anything, what are you learning from these billionaires and trillionaires? If anything.
I just learned that it's attainable. If you want to work for it, you can go get it. And just being around, I'd be like a sponge to them. You learn so much every day. Their mindsets works a little different, and they see everything different on a whole playing field.
Nice. And if any special moments have you had in regard to the world of real estate?
Real estate now, I realized that like properties, you could never really lose with a property. So a lot of my friends that buy properties now, they thank me after because they never thought this is the way to go. Because sometimes, if you're doing this business, you want to be an entrepreneur. You still buy a place because sometimes you'll be working on your project and it doesn't pan out. After, say, 3 years, it didn't really work where you want it to work. But when you look back, where you made your most money for the last 3 years is that properties you bought that went up in equity. You know what I mean? So it's like people got to pay attention to do that too. So always get your property, and because that goes up every year in equity, and you could always pull money back out and use that to invest in what type of company you want to invest into and try to, do your passion.
When you were starting off in this, I'm sure you had dreams and visions. Have you achieved your dreams and visions?
I would say no, not yet.
Good.
Good. Not yet. I'm on the roll to it.
Good.
I feel like I'm in a good place. I know a lot of good people, and I think I'm in a good position to make it happen. Good. Right? It's all about strategic decisions to making the right moves right now. It's like preparation meets opportunity. Then you catch the opportunity. Then you got to catch the wave. Then you ride the wave. Take it to the next level. So I'm here. I'm riding the wave and just doing what I got to do and enjoying it in the meantime every day. When I get up, I try to do the best as I can and enjoy the day.
What do you like about being an entrepreneur?
For me, I guess I like working on my own time. I like to make the decisions, and I like to be controlling my own project, my own destiny. And I know I get in what I put in. You know what I mean? So it's like I know putting those extra hours in is for me, and it can work.
Nice. When you started this journey of entrepreneurship, what did your parents think then? And what are your parents thinking now?
Uh, you know what? My first thing is when I opened up um, the tire store. I was going to college at the time, and my parents, all they were on is school, 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 school. So I did the school to please them. But when I said I was going to open up the tire store, they were like, no, they didn't really want me to do that. But when I opened it and then they came and seen the traffic there and the money coming in, then anything I did after that, they were okay with it. So, because if I would have came with the music business first,
Yeah.
they would have really said no.
Yes.
But because I proved myself with the tire shop and, showing that it was successful till I sold it, when I said, okay, I'm going into the club completely now, they were just with me, ride or die.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Nice. When you get a chance to speak with young people, do you encourage or at least say, take a look at the world of entrepreneurship?
hmm I try to let them know that you could be anything you want to be. I mean, and there's a lot of opportunities out there. You just got to go for it. And if you believe in yourself in something, you really have a passion for something, go for it.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Because I think that's part of my success because I enjoy it.
That's a key component.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy meeting new people. I enjoy new opportunities, and I just keep it moving.
If Marv wasn't doing this, what would Marv be doing?
Entertainment.
Other than entertainment, other than entertainment,
I can't
other than
see
real,
myself.
you can't do so.
Yeah. Let me see.
Did you have any other interests at any other time during the journey other than entertainment? Like you've done entertainment, you've done real estate.
I mean, I did a lot of business. My grind, like I owned a trucking company.
Whoa.
I had trucks going from here to Florida to LA to New York back to here. I tried everything, but every time every business I did was just for me to make money to give me the opportunity to have the finance
For your
to
dream.
travel, to go meet everybody in the industry to do what I need to do. So it was all about every time I did a business wasn't for that. This is what I want to do. It was more, oh, I'll do this for now till I get the money to go crack in the entertainment business. You know what I mean? Just like when I was doing the club, the Atlantis, the parties, it wasn't so be it. I was like, good, now I'm getting the finance. Now I could actually build the group I want to build and get a deal and travel. So I had the vision, what I wanted to do.
How key is the team that you have?
Yeah, you need a lot of loyal people around you, and also you need people that are comfortable in their skin. You don't want everybody to be around that wants to be Batman. You always need a Batman and a Robin. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing, some people would come around and expect they want to be Batman overnight, but they don't know your journey. So it's like slow down, relax a bit. When I go in, I'm in a circle. I understand the Batman and Robin approach. So sometimes I'm cool being the Robin and learn until I could get to be the Batman.
Excellent. Anything else you'd like to share with us? I know you've got all things on the go, and we really appreciate your time that you're sharing with us. Is there anything else you want to share with our audience before we let you leave and get to more grind?
I guess the only thing is that, like right now, I'm working with Brian Leach right now, which has like Pitbull, ASAP Rocky, the whole ASAP mob, ASAP Ferg. So that's a great opportunity for me working with them. I've been working them for a good couple of years now. Also, I'm working with Cantor Fitzgerald on the charity event, and that's amazing right now because so far they dedicated 380, almost about 300 and something to charity so far. So
congratulations.
To me right now, somebody could go out of their way. They don't have to do that and take money and dedicate to charities like that for all the people that he lost in the 9/11. I think that's an amazing thing. So my heart goes out for that. So for me, I bend over backwards to help and work with them. I'm honored to be in the position I am with them to do what I need to do to help with the entertainment over there. So it's just a beautiful thing to just know that they, even my position, that the what we're trying to do is I'm helping the natural disasters in this world and the 9/11 victims that perished in the 9/11. 658 people that died for Cantor Fitzgerald. So whatever we do, we bring the celebrities um, and keep a concert, and then that's on the 10th, and then the 11th. Now they would bring them celebrities to the trading floor, and they would help trade with the traders, and whatever they make that day, they dedicate to charity too. So the all the employees are willing to waive their day's pay that day, and you know, it's Wall Street, so it's a lot of money there. And whatever they make, they dedicate it. And so far, they dedicated over 300 something million to charity.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful thing. I'm just happy to be a part of it and help out, and put my dues in too, to contribute to this world. To help to the natural disasters in this world.
Two quick things before we let you go. One of the viewers here has a quick question for you. She says, don't know if Big Marv knows much about Kanye West's music, but it seems that Kanye is not taken too seriously as a musician. I know he's got his quirks. What does Kanye need to do to be considered a serious musician, or in a positive way? If you have any comments on that.
Well, they used to take him serious. They will take him seriously, and he's just having a little uphill battle sometimes. But he knows what he's doing. He's a very smart man and very talented man, and I think he will get everything back on track.
Excellent. And one last thing,
Not a problem.
Yeah, one last thing, you gave us your short-term plans. Do you have anything planned after this benefit stuff that you're doing that you're at liberty to share with us?
You know, since I do it international right now, and for Toronto people, because I know you're from Toronto there, I'm looking forward to bringing some more plays like to Toronto back. Like we brought the Tyler Perry, the marriage counselor. We brought the Yamoja, the Fela Kunte,
Yep.
virtuality. So we did a lot of good plays there, and I enjoyed bringing the plays to Toronto because that's a niche market there. I think Yamoja is coming back out. I definitely want to bring it back to Toronto. And if Tyler Perry or something comes going back on tour, I'd definitely like to bring something back to Toronto there too again.
Okay.
To that city.
Well, if you have anything working stateside, because a large majority of my audience is in the U.S. too, so if you have anything, so if you have anything U.S. wise, please feel free to share.
U.S. wise, just like if you have some hot records right now, I'm A&R, Polo Grounds, Sony, RCA, so send it over. Like we'll make things happen. Like if I like it, and I feel good, we'll take it to the next level, right? So they could check it out, like maybe go on my Instagram, which is Instagram TopCat ENT. That's Instagram TopCat ENT. So that's TOPCATENT.
Right.
You can reach me on there too. Hit me up on there. Let me know if you got a good demo or something you want me to listen to. Take it in. I listen to all of them, because I never know when the next hot project is where it's coming from. Right.
Good stuff.
But I just like to work with a lot of positive people and go-getters, ambitious people, and let's try to make, magic happen.
Well, Marv, thank you so much for taking time out of your positive, productive schedule to share with us. Really enjoyed the conversation. I hope you did also.
Oh, I loved it. I like being here with you, and anytime.
Well, the mic is open anytime you want to come back. So I'm making this invitation open publicly. So anytime you want to come back, the channels you need to go through to come back, and we'll be more than happy. It's Dr. Vibe here. I'm host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show. As always, I like to say you're blessed and highly favored. You're a magnet for miracles, and you're a solution for someone's problem. I am a certified empowerment coach. So if you ever would like to set up a complimentary 30-minute empowerment coaching session, I'm available. If you want to touch base with me, the three best ways: Twitter at drvibeshow, email dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com, and also website is www.thedrvibeshow.com. If you want to watch the replays of this or any other of my conversations, best to go to the website. You can also go to Google Play, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Tuned In Radio, Stitcher Radio, WJMS, The Good Men Project, multiple places. Just look the Dr. Vibe show up on your favorite search engine. I'm Googleicious, as I like to say. So, in parting, blessed and highly favored, Magic for Miracles, solution for someone's problem. At 9 o'clock this evening, we have another epic conversation. We have Jazz Keys, who's a writer for Ebony Magazine, and she's going to be sharing about her article, How African Americans Can Break the Cycle of Inherited Poverty. So, we are out, we are gone, but as always, I like to say, sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Thanks for watching live and on the replay, and also big thanks to Fenella Bruce for making this happen, and also big thanks to Tish and all the people who watch us live. God bless, peace be all, and keep the faith.
And God bless you all.